If you share my story, it's journalism. But when I share my own story, it's a testimony. And I believe somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. Here's the question: how much longer will you make them wait? Well, the wait is over. Today on In the Mix, let's have a courageous conversation. Let's talk about the topic: sharing your story. Why the world needs what you have. Oh, I'm mic'd up. Join me and let's mix it up. What's good people? How you doing? How you living? How's it going? What's happening? I hope you are doing well. I really hope you're having a great day in a great way. It's getting ready to get a lot better and greater. We're going to jump into our conversation today, our conversation of illumination. But of course, I need you to hit the thumbs up button on this video. You should hit the thumbs up button on this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button as well. And you know how we always do it. Drop some light bulb emojis in the chat. Come on, drop some light bulb emojis in the chat. As a matter of fact, we're going to light it all the way up. Yeah, let's light it all the way up. Too lit to quit. We are turning the light all the way up on. Let's light it up. Why? Because we are the light of the world. For our conversation of illumination, let's highlight our topic for today, which is entitled Sharing Your Story. Oh yeah, sharing your story. We're going to talk about why the world needs what you have. Yeah, you're sitting on a gold mine. You got something that the world needs. Some of us are too reticent, too hesitant, too shy to really talk about what it is that we do in our story, and we're in a place of shame and stigma and setbacks and suffering and silence. Forget all that. That's over with today. Real quickly, by a show of emoji hands. Yeah, by a show of emoji hands, how many of us have a story to tell? Come on, I want to talk to you. By a show of emoji hands, how many of us have a story to tell? How many of us believe that our story can impact somebody's life? Who am I talking to? I hope it's you. I know it's you. How many of us, let's take it to another degree. Yeah, have a story to share, have a story to tell. How many of us have a story that we know can impact somebody's life? But let's take it to another degree. How many of us are actually consistently telling our story? Yeah. Are you consistently telling your story? I'm talking about on podcasts, I'm talking about through books, talking about through social media posts, at your church, your organization, your fraternity, and your sorority, as you mentor, as you give back in the community, through workshops, through newsletters. You see what I'm saying? And the list goes on and on and on. And if you're doing that, put where you're doing that at. Put where you're doing that at in the chat. Somebody needs to know that you have a story. Somebody needs to know where you share your story at. Somebody may want to connect with you based upon how you share that. I believe this. I really believe somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. Here's the question: how much longer will you make them wait? Come on, if you fail and you're reticent and hesitant to share your story, to a certain degree, you're selfish. Because you actually are an answer to a problem. Come on, family, just type share your story. Come on, type share your story. Yeah, type share your story. Don't be reticent. Don't be hesitant. Don't be negligent. On our channel for change, our channel that creates change, our channel that breaks chains. Yeah, how dare you not share your story? I came across something the other day by the New York Times that said this. Said, according to the New York Times, 81% of Americans want to write a book. 3% finish, okay? But only 1% actually publish. Let me say that twice because it's so nice. 81% of Americans want to actually write a book, right? 3% finish, only 1% actually publish. We got to close the gap between this is what I want to do and this is what I did. For many of us, the gap is too wide. It's this is what I want to do and this is what I'm about to do. How many people do you know who are always about to do something, about to do this, I'm about to do that, and they never actually do it? We got to close the gap between this is what I want to do and this is what I did. We got to close that gap. I'm grateful that I'm in that 1% that actually published, not just once, not just twice, not just 3 times, but 18 times. I can also show you how to do that. Go to accessidentity.org/author. Get my bestseller book blueprint. Here's the thing. 81% of Americans want to write a book, 3% finish, only 1% actually publish. I don't have a problem with the 81% at all. Because there's a whole bunch of people who always talk a good game, but they never see it through. I ain't got no problem with them. Right? A lot of people do a lot of words, but they don't have a lot of works. A lot of words, not a lot of works. So they don't really want it, the 81%. They just kind of want it. My problem is with the 3% who did it but won't share it. Oh, come on. That's my problem. Problem ain't with the 81%. A lot of people talk good game. They want to do these things. They have a desire to do them. They never do them. The problem is with the 3%. They actually did the work. They put the work in, but only 1% actually take it to another degree and actually publish. A lot of us want to be in the 1%, but here's the thing. Many of us in the 3% and some of us in the 81%. I got to get out of my own way. I got to do what I got to do. I got to shake some things up, and I got to actually publish. I got to actually go for it. I got to actually make it happen. May not necessarily be a book. That may not necessarily be your forte. It may be the business plan and the blueprint that you still have not launched out and catapulted it to another dimension. Come on. You got the blueprint. You got everything all itemized. You created the goal. You developed the action plan. You saw it all the way through. Come on, what's stopping you now? What's stopping you? I want to share with you some things. I want to share with you some things about the power of sharing your story that I think is going to cause you to think differently about your story. Yeah, I want to share with you some things about the power of sharing your story that I know is going to shift your perspective on how you share it. Yeah. Come on, family, type is time. Type is time. Type is time. Shout out to all of our members in the chat. Salute to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I love seeing your badges. I really do. If you don't have a membership, go get one. Link is in the chat. Link is in the description of this video. Don't tell me you're a member. Don't tell me you watch In the Mix, but you're not a member of In the Mix. Come on, we got to change that. Once you become a member of In the Mix, simply by clicking the link, tap the link in our chat, in our live chat, and of course, the link in the description of this video, and you can become a member just by supporting one of our badges, VIP, OQP, royalty, right? Any of those particular badges. And now I give you access. My gift to you is to give you access to our membership portal, where I'm sharing some behind the scenes footage, information, what life is like for me, the day-to-day operations of things, giving you some revelation, some inspiration, some information to take your situation and your life to another dimension. Go ahead, get that. If you're not a member of our amazing Eagles Academy, come on, join, become a member of our Eagles community. Go right now to theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the join now button, fill out the form, be transformed. I want to mentor you. I want to coach you. I want to teach you. I want to empower you. Become a part of my amazing exclusive area of our Eagle's Nest family. Here's the thing about sharing your story. Number one, sharing your story allows you to become your own PR. Yeah. Come on, family. Just type PR. PR. Sharing your story allows you to become your own PR. What I mean, I'm not saying that it negates the need for PR. But here's what you do. You become your own PR with, here it is, beyond just public relations, right? But with personalized response. That's what I'm talking about. PR is more than just personal. PR is more than just public relations. PR is personalized response. What do I mean? It cuts out the middleman, gets the message directly to the consumer with your own messaging. And here's the power of personalized response. It's taking it out of the hands of other people. Now you're able to be a direct to consumer type of individual who translates a message through the power of social media. Social media has positioned you now to be your own voice. Social media now is giving everybody a microphone, whether that's good, bad, ugly, otherwise. But it now allows you to create your own narrative. It now allows you to shape and curate the experiences of life with your own voice. That's the power of being a PR. I'm not just talking about public relations. I'm talking about personalized response. You're able to share it in a particular way where you're not having somebody else curate and dictate how you view life and what you want to say and when you want to say it and how you want to say it. No, you're able to shift it. You're able to shape it. You're able to message and send your message out to the masses in a way that is idiosyncratic, that is peculiar to you, that navigates the whole aspect of your human experience, right? To where you can be often imitated but never duplicated. Nobody can communicate on the level that you can communicate, how you communicate, when you communicate. Hello, somebody. And here's what I want to ask you. I want to ask you this. When did you lose your voice? We're talking about sharing your story. Why the world needs what you have. I want to ask you, when did you lose your voice? Who muted your message? Who or what paused your poetry? What pain paused your poetry? Who invalidated your ideas? How old were you, hear me, when life gave you laryngitis? How old were you when life gave you laryngitis? How old were you when you lost your voice? How old were you when you allowed life to mute your message? I want you to hear me loud and clearly. When you think about Maya Angelou, she mentioned this. She said, there's no greater pain than having a story that in many cases resonates so deep within you that you can't get out, that you can't share. She talked about the intense pain of it. And here's the thing. We talk about that book, I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. Maya Angelou was a cage bird in her own story. She went through such vitriolic pain, intense pain and rage of the abuse of what it is that she experienced, to where here it is, from the ages of 8 to 13, she didn't even say a mumbling word. She didn't talk. Imagine, for 5 years, she did not speak. But I understand that 5 is a number of grace. 5 is the number of grace. And in the midst of that which seemed to be so inconsolable, God gave her grace at her pace to be able to come out of that situation stronger than when she went in. When was the last time? When was a time in your life that it caused you to have a message that was muted? Who muted your message? Who caused you to be a cage bird when you know that you're supposed to be an eagle that soars to another degree and another level? Who or what gave you laryngitis to where you felt like your human experience was not enough? To where you felt like your life was not enough? When I ask you that question, how were you when life gave you laryngitis? Here's one of the things I realized about laryngitis. One of the causes of laryngitis is screaming. Why screaming? Because we believe we're not being heard. So we yell to feel seen. We yell to feel heard. We yell to feel valued. And really at the nth degree, here's the thing. Some of us are silently screaming. Hello, do you notice me? Do you recognize me? Do you see me? Do you value me? Do you hear me? Do you love me? And we're screaming at such a fever pitch. And here it is. It's taking your voice away. When you think about laryngitis, here's the question. How long does laryngitis last? I'm so glad you asked. It can be as short as 3 days. It can be as long as 2 weeks. But for some of us, laryngitis has lasted for years. It's gone on and on. Yeah. In the midst of too short, it's too long. It's gone on and on. Can't understand why it lasts so long. Ain't no superpower. It's disempowered you because of the pain of what it is that you've experienced. But I need you to hear me. Nobody can shape your narrative unless you allow it to. What I tell you about laryngitis? I told you laryngitis is associated with screaming. One of the causes of laryngitis is screaming. Laryngitis can last for as long as 2 weeks, as short as 3 days. But for some of us, laryngitis has lasted for years because we've allowed somebody to muzzle and mute our message. Here's the other thing about laryngitis. Laryngitis is contagious. Oh, come on. Come on, family. Just type speak. Type speak. Type speak. You suffer the effects of someone's symptoms to where, here it is, now your voice is affected because someone's actions muted it. Ain't it interesting? People who don't use their voice don't want you to use yours. People who are suffering from laryngitis now want to put their hand over your mouth and want to muzzle you and want to suffocate you and want to minimize your message. Why? Because here it is. Association brings about assimilation. And people who don't use their voice don't want you to use yours. They want to stop you from using your voice. Come on, family, just type use your voice. Come on, type use your voice. Somebody's breakthrough depends on you using your voice. Somebody who's been trapped in depression and mental health challenges and feeling like they can't give up and feeling like they can't go on and feeling like, here it is, they got to throw in the towel, feeling like they're never going to make it. You can let them know, listen, I never would have made it if it wasn't for the grace of God. I never would have made it if I didn't go to therapy. I never would have made it if I didn't go to counseling. I never would have made it if I didn't open up my mouth and begin to share my story and do what I didn't feel like doing to get to where it is that I needed to be. That which is so uncomfortable. But I had to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I had to be uncomfortable with being comfortable. Oh, I don't want you to touch that dial, family. Listen, we got more in store. I'm just getting into it. I'm just getting into it. More breakthroughs on the way. I got to interrupt this courageous conversation with a special message. Got a special message for you in the midst of this special message. Stick and stay. More is on the way after these messages. You better believe it. I'll be right back. Our schools are underfunded, teachers are underpaid, and our children are undereducated. Our classrooms, culture, curriculum, and communities are in crisis like never before. Education is the key, but the lock is broken. So how do we fix it? I'm so glad that you asked. I'm giving you strategies in my new book. It's my 17th book, by the way, called Strategies for Successful Schools. How to develop a diverse classroom of learners who read, lead, and succeed. This is a book that's available right now for our educational leaders. It's a must read for school board members, parents, community advocates, transformative teachers, and yes, for those of you who desire to see our children lead and succeed. But not only that, so many of our young people are struggling with their academics, their mental well-being, limiting beliefs, procrastination, interpersonal trauma, and just feeling like they're hopeless. But what if there was a go-to guide to empower you to be a champion and our children to be a champion and empower them to overcome challenges? Here's the good news. I've got another book for you. It's my 18th one. Learners are Leaders, Strategies and Solutions for Student Success. It's got a 31-day journal in there. It's got affirmations, really a lot of valuable life lessons, ways to set smart goals for success, improve your mental well-being, foster academic success. So much more that is in store when you get not just one, but both of these books. They're both available right now on Amazon. Yeah, go get it right now. But also, you can get signed copies that are available at theeaglesacademy.com/books. Don't just get them for you, but also get them for someone else too. Yes, y'all. And we don't stop. Come on, family. I need you to heed to these resources that you've heard. Let's get back to the word. We are talking about, having a good conversation. Sharing your story. Why the world needs what you have. I already told you somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. Here's the question. How much longer will you make them wait? Yeah. I'm talking about the power of sharing your story. Come on, family. Just type share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. Come on, type it. Type share it. Oh, let me take a sip so I don't slip. If you're not a member of our In the Mix family, come on. Become a member of In the Mix. Yeah, all you have to do is tap the link in the chat, link in our description of this video. My gift to you is to give you access to our members only area and portal. All you have to do is just get a badge though. VIP, royalty, OQP. Become a member of our Eagles community, theeaglesacademy.com. When you get there, tap the join out button, fill out the form, be transformed. You saw something about my books. Get my 17th and my 18th books. Learners are Leaders, Strategies for Successful Schools. They both went number one within 48 hours of each other. Listen, go ahead, get them Amazon, as well as theeaglesacademy.com/books. Be glad to sign some copies for you. I told you number one, and that was just number one, family. Yeah, told you number one, sharing your story allows you to become your own PR. Beyond just public relations. Yeah, beyond just public relations. It's about a personalized response. Yeah, I'm not saying that there's no need for public relations, but I am saying that there's nothing more powerful than a personalized response. Drop a super chat, drop a super sticker. We're having a super conversation. Number two, sharing your story allows you to do this. Allows you to take back your power. Yeah, it allows you to take back your power by, here it is, becoming a premier expert. You become a premier expert with your knowledge base. Here's the thing. We don't know what you don't know unless you tell us what you don't know. And a lot of times we're so focused on what we don't know that we don't share what we do know. Oh, let me talk to you. Let me say that again. We don't know what you don't know until you tell us what you don't know. We don't know what you don't know unless you tell us what you don't know. And too many of us don't share what you do know because you're so focused on what you don't know. Yeah. And you allow what you don't know to stop you from sharing what you do know. We need to hear what you do know. Come on, I don't expect you to have all the insight and the aspects of the theory of relativity and Abraham Maslow's hierarchy. I don't expect you to know all the ins and outs about being a rocket scientist. I don't expect you to have all the wisdom of a theologian. Don't expect you to know, atoms and the molecules and being intoxicated with exuberance of your intellectual verbosity. I don't expect you to know all of those words in the dictionary. But I do want you to tell us what you do know. And here's the thing. When you tell us what you do know, now you create a common thread between your story and my story. And if I'm hesitant and reticent to share my story based upon seeing you share your story, now that gives me courage. Now that gives me insight. Now that gives me inspiration to say, ooh, look at if she can do it, if he can do it, why not me? If you're passionate about real estate, Share how that connects to your personal journey. If you're passionate about working with our young people, if you're passionate about mentorship like I am, how does that interweave into your story? It interweaves into my story because I had to overcome stage 4 cancer by the grace of God. It interweaves into my story because here it is. I couldn't find, in many cases, a mentor in the daytime with a flashlight at some of my lowest lows in my life. It was hard for me to get to that particular place. But here's what I did. Based upon overcoming cancer, based upon healing from my father not being there in my life, based upon overcoming thoughts to where I wanted to give up and throw in the towel and call it quits. Here's what I did. Coming out of that process of pain, I developed a mentoring program called Boys to Books, empowering our young brothers to read, lead, and succeed, literacy, leadership, life skills, enrichment. That particular process. Now I created a mentoring group simply because, hey, this is what I was void of. Create a mentoring group simply because it gives me an opportunity now to talk to my 13, 14, 15-year-old self when I was in that particular place to where a particular young man may be. And now he's dealing with similar situations that I did. What would I want somebody to tell me at that age that I was looking for somebody to share with me when I didn't always have that? Do you see that? Do you see that particular personalized response? Do you see that particular aspect of being able to take your power back to be, here it is, a premier expert? Being a premier expert don't mean you got to be an expert in everything. It just means that what you do, it ought to be done in such a way that is unique and so specific to you. Take people, give people a BTS, give people a behind the scenes experience into your life. Yeah, that BTS behind the scenes, that BTS ought to be behind the story. That BTS ought to be beyond the story. That's what it ought to be. That's one of those specific things that we do, of course, when you become a member of In the Mix. Yeah, you get the behind the scenes, the behind the story, the beyond the story. Go ahead. Tap the link in the chat, link in the description of this video to become a member of In the Mix. Family, are you getting something from this? Are you getting something from this so far? Yeah. Family, just type expert, type expert, type expert. Here's another thing about sharing your story, because that's what we're talking about. Sharing your story, why the world needs what you have. Here's another thing about sharing your story. The power of sharing your story causes you to do this. I want you to write this down, family. Just type purpose pusher. The power of sharing your story makes you a purpose pusher. It causes you to be a purpose pusher. Why? Because here's the thing. What you have learned, you are now obligated to teach it. Dr. George Fraser said, once you learn and earn, then you must return back to your community. Some of us can return to our mentoring program because you are part of a particular mentoring program. You made part of Boys and Girls Club. You return back there and you share the lessons of what it is that you've learned. You can return back to your high school. You can return back to your middle school. Come on. Maybe you're in town and you can return back to your particular church because you moved to a particular different location, whatever the case may be. Come on. It now gives you an opportunity to share what you have learned, because here's the thing. It is each one, teach one, each one, reach one. You got a mandate to share your message. Come on. Family, just type, it's my turn. It's my time. Just type that, family. It's my turn. It's my time. Because of what you have learned, because of this experience, because of how you have persevered, because of how you have grown in particular aspects and levels and areas, you are now obligated to teach and to push somebody into their purpose. And here's the thing. Sadly, these days, we got too many quote unquote experts with no experience. Oh, let me say it. We got too many quote unquote experts with no experience. People want to give you constructive criticism but haven't constructed anything. People, here it is, who are arrogant and unachieved. And we got a whole bunch of people who are overachieved but are humble but won't share their message. False humility. Come on, you know you got the goods. You know you got the gold. You know you got the sauce. You know you got the juice and the squeeze. Come on, you got to share that with somebody. You got to recognize that. And you're allowing people to invalidate your experience, because a lot of people, just because they're showing up doesn't mean that they have anything to bring. But you got something to bring when you show up. You have value to give when you show up. You have words of wisdom to enrich us with when you share and when you speak. Service is the rent that you pay for the space that you occupy. And here's what I realize. The rent is due every day. The rent is due every day, in every way. Somebody tells your story, it's journalism. But when you share your own story, it's a testimony. And for many years, I didn't want to share my story. Due to embarrassment, due to feeling invalidated, due to pain pausing my poetry, due to my message being muted, due to grappling with stage 4 cancer in my young, very, 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 very young years as a teenager. And I almost allowed my situation to beat out my revelation. Almost allowed my situation to have the victory over my destination. And that same guy who knew of my experience cornered me in a convenience store, inconvenienced me and said, "I thought you died." And I had to look at him and tell him, "You thought wrong. Clearly you can see I didn't die, I multiplied." What are you doing to multiply your message? What are you doing to share past your pain? What are you doing with the story of what you've been given to now empower other people to live through dying places? Come on, somebody needs what you have. The world needs what you have. You're a generation gap closer. You're a generational curse breaker. How dare you be selfish and keep all the value to yourself? Here it is. Your gift is not just for you. It's to bless somebody through what you've gone through. The meaning of life, according to Pablo Picasso, is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give your gift away. I need you to hear me. Your gift is not just for you. Your gift is empowering other people to grow through similar situations of what you've learned and what you've experienced and how you're able to grow through what you go through. Come on, family. Type "I'm gifted." Type "I'm gifted." Come on, type "I'm gifted." Hear me. If you are gifted, you will be afflicted. But the trying of your faith, work with patience. Patience, experience hope. You may have been broken, but you're still blessed. And those specific pieces of your life that have been broken can be shared to bless and empower and inspire other people. Family, I want you to drop a super chat, drop a super sticker into this special, courageous conversation of illumination. Yeah, come on. I want you to sow where you grow. This is where you grow. So. This is where you soar. Come on. Yeah, this is where you grow. Sow where you grow. Sow where you soar, as we empower you to move to a greater level and to a greater dimension. I really believe, like I've said, somebody's waiting for you to step into the greatness of who it is that you are so they can become who they need to be. I want you to sow into your testimony. I want you to sow into your story. This is good ground to sow into right here over it in the mix. Yeah, this really is. Now, as a debt that you owe, it is a seed that you sow. And I believe that even as you're sowing into our good ground here, because we want to broaden our broadcast, we want to take our messaging to another dimension. Yeah, as we're getting equipment continually, software, developing our show, all the things that we do behind the scenes to make it run each and every single day, Monday through Friday, you can help us to continue to do that. Simply go to Cash App, $Access Identity. Yeah, Cash App, $Access Identity. PayPal. Yeah, you see that there, PayPal. As well as Zelle, EddieConnorJr @gmail. Link is in the chat. Link is in the description. Information in the chat. Information that is in the description of this video for how to give, where to give, how to sow, where to sow. Super chat, super conversation. You can do that. Sow into our super chat. We've been having a super conversation. Drop a super chat, drop a super sticker. Again, Cash App, $Access Identity, PayPal, Zelle, EddieConnorJr @gmail. I appreciate you even in advance for sowing into your story, sowing into your messaging, sowing as you're growing. Yes, I'm believing 30, 60, 100-fold for you. It's going to happen for you. Family, were you empowered? Were you strengthened? Were you encouraged by this session and message today? I sure hope so. Sure hope so. Let me know. If you're not a member of In the Mix, of course, I do want you to become a member of In the Mix. Links in the chat, links in the description of this video on how and where to do that. Yeah, get a badge, VIP, Royalty, OQP. And of course, you want to soar with us each and every single Wednesday. Yeah, every single Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. in our Eagles community. Come on, go right now to the eaglesacademy.com to be a part of my private mentorship, my private coaching, where I go further and farther than where it is that I go here on the YouTube free side. And then where I go here on the membership side of our YouTube channel, I want you to become a member of our Eagles community. TheEaglesAcademy.com. When you get there, tap the Join Now button. Fill out the form, be transformed. Links in the chat. Links in the description of this video. Family, In the Mix is out of time. But y'all know I'm not out of truth, and so I want to thank you for rocking with me. I want to thank you for riding with me. I want to thank you, yes, for rolling with me. Why? Because that's just how we roll. And we roll together each and every single weekday, Monday through Friday, for In the Mix, right here on the YouTube side, but we're also, on the social media side. So I want to give a sincere salute to all of you who are watching us on the social media side. Yeah, on our sister satellite stations on social media. I just got a question for you. Are you my friend? Are we locked in? Then step this way. Step that way. Which way am I talking about? By friending me, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok. We don't stop. At EddieConnorJr. Come on, family. Put some respect on my name. EddieConnorJr. Keep showing love. I'm going to keep showing up. And of course, I'm personally inviting you to receive a word from me directly each and every single Sunday at 10 a.m. and Tuesday at 7 p.m. as I am the pastor of the Remnant Worshipers Church in the city of Detroit. 20470 Hubble Street. I'm saving you a seat. Join us. Join us. It's going to be absolutely empowering and encouraging and inspiring. If I can help you, if I can serve you in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Of course, you can get any of my books on Amazon, as well as the eaglesacademy.com/books to get signed copies there. If you're looking for a dynamic speaker, now why would you look any further? Come on, you know I'm the man for the job. So email me to invite me. info@eddieconnor.com. And it'd be an honor for me to empower you. Yours truly, Dr. Eddie, your main man, 100 grand, your brother. And I mean that, from another mother. Family has been fun, but you know, brother, gotta run. So I want you to know it's been a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure. But I want you, yes, you, I'm talking to you now, to remember to keep the faith and believe. It's going to be bigger, better, whole lot brighter. Peace. I'm sending you all types of love. Keep soaring higher. Family, there is power in partnership, and we are better together, which is why I am on a mandated mission to activate 30, yes, 30 new action takers who are ready to soar beyond their limits. I'm ready to develop and deploy you into your gifts and your greatness. Now, are you ready? Well, get activated by joining the Eagles Academy, where we cultivate your gifts and your talents to become the greatest version of yourself. And we do this through weekly mastermind sessions where you receive strategies for exponential growth with self-paced Eagles Nest reflections that include personalized feedback to transform you, to renew your mindset, to empower you to take action and actualize your purpose. Are you an action taker? If so, today I ask you, are you ready to answer the call? Well, great. Then visit theeaglesacademy.com and become a member. For only $24.99, you will unlock unlimited knowledge and resources that will launch you and catapult you into the greatest version of yourself. I invite you to the winner's circle. On your mark, get set, go right now to theeaglesacademy.com and seize this moment.